And the news involves a decision from ICE. Just hours ago, we learned Youngstown businessman Amer Addy will be deported.
He needs to go home. He has family waiting for him. We're all ready to go home. Enough is enough. We're done. We were done 2 weeks ago. You want to draw this out for no reason.
Amer Addy is being held. He has been on a hunger strike for the last 9 days.
You want everybody to have this mental picture of ICE and the government and how corrupt they are? Well, you got it.
As we learn more information about when Addy may possibly be deported. For now, live in Youngstown.
All the worries came when the presidential election happened and when Trump became president of the United States. But it wasn't, there's nothing you can do. It's just like a worry that you just don't know. Are you going to wake up and someone's going to be knocking at the door telling you like, hey, we're going to take your dad and deport him. I didn't know really how it was going to pan out or how it was going to work.
And Amer Addy is expected to be deported. We're not sure when, but right now he is still waiting for that deportation. The press conference.
Originally, they say when he left to Brazil, that's when he kind of supposedly messed up and his green card wasn't valid anymore. And then he was married prior to my mom, and there was a woman who, she explained herself as some people came to her door, knocked on her door, and told her that if she didn't say that, they got married and it was fraudulent, that they were gonna give her a hard time and make her life really hard. So she just signed whatever papers were in front of her. She was trying to get her kids on the school bus to go to school. And then it kind of all just backfired. All of a sudden, their marriage was fraudulent, and this was the reason he was being deported, and that he got married for a green card, which wasn't the case at all.
Youngstown business owner threatened with deportation will not have to leave the country for now.
I didn't believe it until Tim Ryan walked in himself and told us, and then we were like, okay, are you sure? Are you positive?
But prior to that, my dad came here on a student visa. He lived in California, and then he came to Youngstown, and that's when he met my mom and married my mom. They did some traveling, went to Brazil, came back, and like I said, that's where it kind of really started. And ever since, as a family, we've been battling, is he going to be able to stay? Is he not? And year after year, it was always, there was always a point in time where we were worried, like, okay, nope, now he's going to be deported. We even used to have a point in time where ICE officials would come to the house and check him in, and he would have this card that they would scan and check him in as, yeah, his status is he's at home. And that went on for a couple years, and then it just accumulated and kept going until eventually I really don't know what changed. All of a sudden this immigration policy came down super hard, and it just affected everybody. It didn't matter who, it didn't matter if you were working, it didn't matter if you were paying taxes, it didn't matter if you were documented, it didn't matter. They just decided that, we're done with immigration and immigrants and we want everybody gone. Do I think that Trump was a little more harsh than other presidents? Yes. I do think that he had a big role, and I think I remember when he got elected president, my dad, we were watching it, and he turned to us and he said, this is it, like I'm gonna be deported. And he knew from that point that there was gonna be some trouble.
To go there, I went there. When they told me to do whatever, I did. Yet 4 months ago, they come and tell me you have certain time to just prepare and just get your stuff together and go. I've always went by the rule. They gave me this so they would know exactly where I'm at.
When my emotions really started to change about everything, when they put a monitor on my dad's ankle. They treated him like he was, somebody who killed someone. To be monitoring someone's every move, to know where they're at. It's painful to watch. It's painful to watch your father have this thing on his ankle. And, he tried to always keep a smile on his face and joke about it. But there was really nothing funny about it. How should you react to coming home and seeing somebody with something on their ankle and it looks like they're on house arrest?
How did they have it on?
Honestly, there's no reason. There was no good reason for it. To monitor where he's going, what he's doing, if he decided he wanted to run, which in 40 years he never did. He was at every single ICE meeting. He checked in, answered every phone call, talked to whoever he needed to talk to every single time. Went to his lawyer when necessary and did everything he needed to do. And yet they still treated him like he was a criminal. And that's just something that I can't get out of my mind. How do you treat people who are trying to better their lives and better their families? How do you treat them like criminals and make them feel so little? But to watch that, it's painful. It's not something that, there's no words for the feeling when I went home and, my dad lifted his pant leg and there was literally a monitor on his ankle. How do you, and that's when we really started telling the story. But how do you react to that? There's no, I don't even have words or an expression of how angry and sad I felt.
Correctional facility where Amr Addy is being held. He has been on a hunger strike for the last 9 days, and just today, Immigrations and Custom Enforcement said after a review they did of his case, they will not grant a stay.
We walk in, the officers, he says, let's get to the point. We're taking you into custody. We were so surprised. Why?
But no reason was given, and Al Addy is tonight in the Geauga County Jail, awaiting deportation back to his native Jordan.
They're going out of their way to humiliate him and treat him like an animal. This is absolutely insane.
2 weeks ago, Addy celebrated with his wife and daughters after learning his deportation had been delayed. It was assumed he would be allowed to stay.
The way it's unfolded.
I'm devastated because this is not the American way. This is a very cruel and inhumane way. Living here for 40 years without a criminal record and no violations, a law-abiding man, and to be treated the way he was treated, it's mind-blowing. It's insane.
It was just like a big, almost like a game. The emotions were just so up in the air and nobody really knew how to react or what was going on. It almost felt like it was a joke. How is this happening? You told these people to leave and they're leaving. They bought their tickets, they showed you that their tickets are paid for, that they're getting on the flight, and so why tell them to come in? Why detain him? Why, do that to somebody? I'm still standing here, a year later, asking why. I still don't have my answer as to why any of that ever happened to begin with. But once they detained him, they put him in jail. They took him to a prison and put him in jail. I still, to this day, cannot understand what that did for them or what the reasoning was behind that.
The family reunion no one here wanted. It's been years since Amr Uthman Addy last saw his mother. In her arms now, a broken man. Deported back to Jordan, the country he left nearly 4 decades ago to pursue his American dream.
So, after everything kind of happened and, we found out that he was okay and he made it to Amman, it was kind of just like a lost feeling of not really sure what to do or how to, what are we supposed to do, go on with life. And we had this whole business downtown Youngstown that we were still running, but now I think we kind of are trying to figure out, is there a possibility that he'll be able to come back? Maybe after Trump is out of office, you know. So those things are still up in the air, trying to figure that stuff out and what we can do to get him back, because I think that that's really important, and I don't think we've lost hope on that yet. I haven't lost any hope on that. I really do believe that some way, somehow, we're gonna get him back here. It might be in a year, it might be in 5 years, but I think we could definitely make that happen.
How often do you talk to your father?
Almost every day. I FaceTime him. You know, I just call him to update him on life, or, you know, ask him a question. But every day I make sure I get to say a few words.
How is it, you know, going your whole life, having someone there and then they're gone on the other side of the world?
Honestly, it's devastating, because it's not something that was planned, and it's not something that, you know, we wanted to happen. It's very different when you're like, oh, I'm moving, and you move away, versus somebody saying, nope, you have to leave. It's, you know, he's been my support system my whole entire life. He's supported my family my whole entire life. So it's definitely a weird feeling to not have him around anymore. But that's why we make sure to call him every day and get to talk to him and update him on things that are happening in Youngstown.
Adi doesn't know when or if he'll ever see the place he calls home again.
I miss my wife. And the kids. And I miss Youngstown. I miss everybody.
Jemana Karache, CNN, Amman.
He is an American in every sense of the word.
Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan describes Adi as a pillar of their community.